for you, or sinning for you.
Sinning for you.
Sinning for you. This is a weird one. So, Keith Hartley is a drummer, and the Keith Hartley band is like a drummer-led band. Now,
imagine a drummer thinking he can have a drummer-led band. The fuck?
How this is kind of lost was that Keith was one of the few English people to play Woodstock. And he is one
including Jimi Hendrix.
Kind of.
Might as well be English.
Yeah, true. Post-English. And the Keith Hartley band were one of only 2 bands that played Woodstock that didn't have their audio recorded.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I did not realise that they all had it.
They recorded everybody. Right?
Wow.
Everyone got recorded except for Keith.
They must have been on at 8 o'clock in the morning.
There was a weird thing where almost every band to the first, if I remember correctly, almost every act on the first day of Woodstock were late because of traffic.
Right.
Right?
Climate change protest?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So everyone who played Woodstock, I think on the first day, the first half of the first day was all kind of rearranged and reorganized. And there were a bunch of acoustic acts that played Woodstock kind of early on that were supposed to play midway through or the second day. But they were made to play because the bands couldn't make it in on time. There's a couple of bands that even got helicoptered in. I think like the Rolling Stones got helicoptered in.
Of course they did.
Yeah. But a bunch of them got helicoptered in because the roads were just blocked, all this kind of shit. But Keith Hartley is one of only 2. The other band was a band called Quill. Now, Quill, to be honest with you, were my original choice.
Right.
For this.
Yeah, I had a few original choices that I found based on the stories I knew I wanted to read into. I saw something else and went, oh, this could be more.
The main reason was on initial inspection, I couldn't find Quill on Spotify. Now, that's not to say they are not there, but it was there's a bunch of bands called Quill, and there's only one Keith, Keef Hartley, right? Keith. So it was 1969. He plays Woodstock. So the only audio at the time recorded. It's real fucking weird. Okay, so it's not that he wasn't recorded at Woodstock. It's so complicated and fucking fucked up. This is the story. He was recorded, but the audio was never ever released. The same with Quill, right? Quill were recorded, but the audio was never released. Now, apparently there was a problem with the mixing desk, and it led to that they knew when they were doing the Woodstock Festival that they were going to release an album.
There was too much hash and jip in it.
Yeah, and LSD and fucking
jip
and bikers killing people. So
no, that wasn't Woodstock, was it?
I know that was another.
That was the other Rolling Stones.
The other one, yeah.
Arlington.
Where they heard as the security, yeah. Grimness.
That's a different podcast.
Double grimness. And so it was recorded, but it was never released because there was a problem with it. The same with Quill. There was a problem with the mixing desk. So every other band and every other act, I believe, that played Woodstock were put onto the Woodstock album that was released, I think, within a year of the actual festival happening. Keith Hartley studied under the same teacher as Phil Collins.
Right.
They had the same drum teacher. And he was tipped to be one of the next big things. But I don't think he couldn't get a fucking band together properly or whatever fucking happened. He ended up, right, I'll be the band leader. I'll do the fucking singing. I'll do the drumming. I'll Eagles the shit out of it. And it's interesting what happened to him afterwards. He had no recorded material. He didn't have an album. He didn't have a single before he played Woodstock. He had nothing. Right? He was just on Woodstock
because how he got on the bill.
Well, apparently because he was touted to be one of the next big deals, he got invited to be on the festival. So the only recorded
he was
material.
Like, you know what? I'm glad I didn't record that because these lads are gonna do it for me for free.
For free, yeah.
Except there was loads of flowers and jip in the mixing desk. So
flowers and jip. So yeah, he goes out and he does a set. It is recorded, but it's not released. Now, this material, this is where it gets weird. The material that he recorded during Woodstock was only released a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
How did they get it?
finally, somehow, some way, the master tapes
Wiped all the jip.
fucking, they cleaned the jip off it. Fucking scraped it off. It was old. Got the fucking alcohol solution out and the cotton buds, cleaned it off. So yeah, 1969 he plays a gig, it's recorded, it's never released because there's something wrong, but eventually there's a box set released called Back to the Garden, and he put out a couple of albums afterwards. I don't think they weren't big by any stretch of the imagination, but they finally, in this box set, Back to the Garden, they released, I don't know whether it was all of it, but some of the original Woodstock recorded material. He put a couple of albums out after, like I said, they went. I don't know if Keith is still alive.
Might got a few quid from the.
He may have. I think that album, that box set was released in the early mid 2000s. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to check.
Few bob in the post office.
That's it. Yeah, well, to be fair, that'd bring your social welfare down if you had a few bob.
Yeah, careful, Keith.
Don't rat out Keith.
Careful.
Do not rat out Queef.
Queef.
Stop it! I can't, because I was trying to read the word quill and I mixed quill and Keith. And
I think it's the first time we've ever mentioned the word queef on here. So you know what? I'm sure there's people going, these guys know a couple of things about music, but they keep talking about funny farts. What is wrong with these people? Because we're from Dublin, right? We're old-scale hard people. Well,
oh, God, we have to pretend not to be from Dublin. This is our thing. This is my new thing.
Right, let's do it. God, tell me
about
your next selection.
We need a mad neutral accent.
That's a nice thing.
Hello.
Well, the most neutral accent is the Dublin accent.
Do you reckon? Oh, I think it might be a bit too spicy. Might have a bit too much flavour in it.
No, the neutral Ireland accent is apparently one of the most neutral accents in the world, which is why we have so many.
Like our man, the baddie in Sherlock Holmes.
But which is, which is why we have so many people going to the TEFL thing.
TEFL?
Teaching English as a foreign language.
I thought you about like them frying pans. Tefal.
Teflon. Tefal. No, apparently Ireland has one of the most neutral accents. I know I'm absolutely wrecking your story here.
I feel like
you're running thin.
No, yeah, I am. That's pretty much it. I mean, I can do what I normally do and just say everything I said already again.
Yeah, in a different way.
In a slightly different way. Yeah. But yeah, Keith Hartley, Sinning for You is the song. Song's alright.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's grand. It's just a fucking song. The interesting thing...
It was a last song. It was. For a long time.
The interesting thing is that him and Phil Collins had the same drum teacher, and he was touted to be the next big thing, hence him being on Woodstock. It is recorded. It's never released.
And apparently... I think
there was only maybe 3 English acts on... I can Keith and Hartley band singing for you. Oh, Lord.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I have a lovely little picture I drew underneath it.
That looks like ska mixed
It's kind of like backgammon meets ska.
Yeah, it's very nice. I saw you drawing that while I was trying to get my
ska
stuff about Vivaldi out when you were wrecking my buzz.
Yeah, I just...
and we started talking about Tekken.
Tekken, yeah. I'd love to talk more about Tekken.
Is there another podcast that ever happened in the entire history of podcasts?
No, I'm just going to go out
where
with it.
Someone was trying to talk about Vivaldi and went full Tekken.
We talk about like Armored King, was someone talking about classical music. Yeah, I doubt it. But this is the longest podcast ever. It's not though.
No, it's not.
So what's your next one?
My last one is number 6. It's William Onibior. We're going back to Nigeria funk.
Deadly.
This song is called Good Name. It's 1983. William Onibior is a strange enough character in the sense that the funk scene back then was quite tight. Everyone knew each other. They did know William, but he was kind of a keep to himself kind of guy. It's kind of interesting. He's almost an international man of mystery. His music style is kind of this huge, synthesized, repetitive, sort of epic, very, very long funk songs. And it did stand out completely different to the other stuff that was happening in Nigeria, kind of stuff like that. He was born into kind of like, he was born into a poor family. And the stories about early William Onibior are kind of very, very patchy. And even the later stuff is even patchier as well, to be perfectly honest with you. Apparently what he did was, just before we get into his music career, apparently what he did was, as a student, there's 2 stories, one of which may be true. He either went to study film in Russia, or he went to study law in England, in Cambridge.
Mad. Either one of them was mad.
Either one of them is mad. Well, no. Not mad in terms of...
What year is this?
This is 83.
Oh, okay.
So in Nigeria, a lot of people will go...
Civil War, yeah.
Yeah. This is a little bit after your guy that you were talking about earlier. Iffy.
I reckon Iffy was ropey.
I don't know, but I don't know whether William was a bit ropey either. Let's talk about William right now. Now, his music is absolutely incredibly interesting. It really, really is. There's a little tiny... I was about to say the name of the people who made the documentary. I will never mention their names on here. There's a documentary on YouTube about William, and like Damon Albarn and stuff are on it. Yeah. They're all talking about it. It's Voice, whatever. I'm the reference Voice.
I'm not against Voice. I liked Voice way back in the day when it started.
But they used to be brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were great.
whatever.
Before they had their own TV channel and all that.
Oh God, what did they do to that? And also their blogs and stuff like that. Never gone batshit. He was born into a kind of a poor enough family, but his studio, when he came back from his studies, was incredibly sophisticated for Nigeria at that time, in the sense that he had a massive, and you can tell this from just his album covers alone, a massive amount of synthesizers. And a lot of people in the Nigerian kind of scene were kind of like, where did you even get those synthesizers? And where did you get all of them? And where did you get all those microphones? And where did you learn all these recording techniques? Because he was actually a little bit, in terms of looping stuff, and almost a precursor to dance music, that kind of like repetitive kind of stuff like that. He was doing that in Nigeria like a long time before a lot of people were doing it. He didn't, like I was saying, the kind of scene in Nigeria was kind of tight-knit, but everyone kind of knew him, but he didn't go to the parties, he didn't really play live with anyone else, so they were kind of like, he was kind of like a kind of mythical kind of character. They knew of him, they knew his music was very, very, very good, and it is really, really good. Like, it genuinely is really, really good. The song I picked is 10 minutes long. There is absolutely no need for the song to be 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Absolutely
just repetitive.
There's a reason I put it at the end of the playlist, or the reason he's coming up now is because I had to put his song at the end of the playlist, because 10 minutes, I didn't want to stick a 10-minute long song at the start of our playlist. Yeah. Some people have a sort of theory that he was commissioned by Russian backers from his time in Russia, and they may have given him a few quid to make music.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it could. If I was to make up a story right now, which I could.
Do it, one.
Someone over, he was over doing... Okay, I'll make up a story?
Yeah. Invent some bullshit for me. Hit me with your skutter.
This is interesting. Okay, never done this before. Let's do this. So let's say he was studying film in Russia, and they needed music for a film.
Yeah.
And he went, I'll do that. Just give me I'll make it, whatever. Nigerian people are quite resourceful.
They are.
Very resourceful, in fact. In terms of, if something needs to get done, they'll try and do it.
Yeah.
William may not be much different. So maybe he recorded a quick... You're making me make up shit on the spot. This is incredible. Let's do this. This
is what I want.
I have actual facts down here.
Yeah, I don't
and
want
a little bit of conjecture.
I don't want that.
He might have written a score from a film in Russia, and then they went, buy a synthesizer. Maybe he found a Russian lover who went, I want to back you. I want to buy you all the synths you want. And then he just took all the synths and ran back to Nigeria.
Possibly.
No, that's not true. Because I just made it up.
Yeah.
Because he made me make that up.
Hopefully.
Now, back in Nigeria, he's making this mad funk, soul, almost dance music. With this, he recorded in a studio that is now a primary school. And he has some absolutely incredible songs over about maybe a 10-year period. He's got songs like Fantastic Man, which will appear on a different podcast that we'll be doing with Gar. Will we do with Gar?
We'll be doing with all the guests.
Wow, yeah. The reason
ladies.
What I'm saying is, the reason I didn't pick Fantastic Man, which is my favourite song by William, is because it's going to appear on a different for a different reason. He's got Atomic Bomb. Now, then just Radio Silence, which is the kind of common theme where...
It's the best album.
Radio Silence.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It's
an hour and a half of silence.
Bleak.
Yeah.
It's actually so forward thinking. It's fantastic. Now, listen, let's skip ahead to the music label, Luaka Bop. This is David Bourne's label.
This is how I heard about him.
Yeah. Well, this is how, let's be honest.
Yeah. 99.9%.
We're two fucking Irish lads. This is the only way we're hearing about this.
Two saps.
I think the Luaka Bop are some of the people that put